Hey, it's Enigma Hood, and I just wanted to talk about video games and stuff for this video. You know, I'm playing a lot of video games, I have a lot of time to do that, so it's a good time to talk about video games. Before I get into that, I want to give a shout out, because I've been putting this off for a while, and I keep forgetting. I want to give a shout out to the Bloodbrother. He makes a lot of pretty good videos and reviews for video games and stuff like that. And he doesn't get as many views as he should, so check out his channel. He's a good guy. Yeah, so. Oh, and part 2 of the Duke Nukem history commentary thing, that'll come up later on when I feel like doing it. Yeah, I get a feeling that maybe 3D Realms or Gearbox or someone is like kind of talking to YouTube and telling them not to display my videos whenever people search for Duke Nukem Forever, because unfortunately my videos haven't been on Duke Nukem Forever, haven't been getting as many views as they used to, and whenever I search for Duke Nukem Forever, I used to see my videos appear in the search. Now I don't. That's very curious. Now I don't know if that's the case, and even if it is the case, you know, what can I do about it? They're just a bunch of pussies. They can't take the heat. It just shows that apparently they're afraid of just one YouTube user, but whatever, you know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to E3, and I want to see what this Project Cafe thing is all about. You know, personally, I'm not all that interested in jumping into the next generation of video games. I think that there's, you know, the graphics for our video games right now already look pretty damn good. I mean, look at Killzone 2 and 3, look at Resident Evil 5, you know, look at Rage, look at Crysis 2. I mean, they look great. You know, okay, they can obviously look more like movie CGI, they can obviously look better, but don't they look great as it is? Do we have to jump ship into a new video game console already? You know, I would love to see this generation last a few more years, and just pump out new games. Just keep on pumping out awesome, top quality games for this generation. Let this generation last. Get the most bang out of your buck. Okay, Nintendo, I can kind of understand why they would want to jump ship, but, you know, even then, like, okay, they are the weakest of the three of this generation, by far. And in my opinion, and this is basically a fact, the Wii looks worse than the Xbox One, graphically. I have not seen a single, like, technically speaking, it's supposed to be better, but I have not seen a single game that looks as good, not even better, but as good as some of the best-looking games on the Xbox One, like Dead or Alive 3, Panzer Dragoon Orta, Otogi, you know, games like that. You know, look at Chronicles of Riddick, and then look at Conduit, please. They are not even in the same league. That's astounding. Either that says the Wii is, you know, they tried to make that as cheap as possible, and it's very weak, or it says that the Xbox One was a fucking beast. I'm willing to go with the whole Xbox One is a fucking beast, because that thing that thing was something else. Anyway, but okay, Project Cafe, that's the successor to the Wii. The problem with them releasing it so soon is that it's going to be the weakest of the three next generation. I believe it's the 8th generation that's coming up. It's going to be the weakest of the three again. So that's a problem, but okay, if they really soup it up and make it significantly better than the PS3 and Xbox 360, then it can actually, you know, compete well, because it's coming out soon, even if it is the weakest of the three next generation. But they really need to pump up the specs and, you know, no holds barred. The controller, supposedly, they're gonna go, I don't know if they're abandoning the Wiimote concept. I think that would be a huge mistake, because that's a great controller especially for shooting games, and it can be used in motion control, be used for motion control in ways that, you know, the traditional dual analog it wouldn't work very well. But hopefully they're gonna do both the Wiimote concept, and also they're gonna do the traditional dual analog with a screen on it, supposedly. Although I've heard that they're gonna it's gonna be like an iPad type of deal. I don't really know how that would work, because then it wouldn't. How can you put buttons on something like that and make it feel comfortable in your hands? It would be bulky. And Yeah, even if it is dual analog, it would be bulky as hell. So I don't know. I think it's I have to wait and see how it's going to be implemented and how it's going to look. But potentially it could be cool if they can stream entire games to the controller. Then you could have like games that look just as good on the big screen right in your hands, and that would make like multiplayer local games a lot better, because then you wouldn't have to have that ridiculous split screen nonsense, which I was never a fan of. It was always just like kind of like a cheap way of getting local multiplayer to work. But if you have a screen on your controller, then that would work great. But that was mostly like an advantage that would have worked great back in the day. Today we do have online play, so that kind of gets around that problem in a lot of ways. But hey, we'll see. I just hope it's not too bulky. That's all. What else? The games I've been playing these days, I'm currently playing Final Fantasy XIII, and that game is fantastic. And I'm also playing a lot of Sonic games. I'm playing a lot of Sonic fan hacks, like Sonia and Silver. That's a fan hack of Sonic 1, and it's great. And then I played Sonic Mega Mix, and that's awesome. I mean, these are just as good. Well, not just as good, but like they're in the same league as the classic Genesis games, and they did a fantastic job with them. There's a few bugs here and there, but it's great anyway. It's a hell of a lot better than some of the 3D Sonic games that have come out in the past decade. Almost all of them sucked, except for Sonic Colors, which was mostly in 2D anyway, and Sonic Heroes to a lesser extent. Sonic Heroes, it was pretty good. It just had major glitches and camera problems and, wonky gameplay, but for the most part, it was pretty fun. And it's my favorite Sonic game of the old style of gameplay. Other games I played, Killer 7. What a great game. I mean, it's very artistic. It's like an artistic game, so it's not for everyone. And the control scheme is radical as hell. You use the A button to move forward. It's so distinct and different, but it couldn't have worked any other way. If it was just a traditional third-person or first-person perspective and you get to move around wherever you want, it would have sucked ass. It would have been nowhere near as good. The storyline doesn't make sense until the very end, and even then, it's still confusing. So, if you're into those kinds of games, I suggest checking it out. I've been playing a lot of bad games, too. I tried Kingdom Hearts, and wow, that game sucks ass. I really don't understand why that game became so popular. It's just really bad and boring. I don't get it. Mostly because, okay, I can deal with the kind of repetitive combat scheme, the real-time combat. That's fun. I mean, okay, but you're leveling up, you're getting more abilities, you're becoming more powerful. Okay, that's cool, but it's the fact that I have to do all these fetch quests, fetch this, fetch that. That's boring, and then I have to literally wander around in this fucking environment that's confusing as hell, and to make it worse, the camera is just shit. I mean, if you're gonna make me wander around aimlessly, and you give me a shitty ass camera, it's gonna make me nauseous. I began to felt sick. I was bored, and I began to felt sick to my stomach. That's how bad it was. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, if this game is going to be 40 hours long, no way I'm going to put up with this. I already put up with it for like 3.5 hours. If I'm not having fun by that point, then fuck it. So, I sold that. Another game is Eternal Darkness. Wow, I don't know how the hell that game was critically acclaimed. It's just boring. The control works fine, the camera is fine, it's just the combat's dull, and there's nothing else to it, really. I mean, the combat really sucks. I don't know, maybe it's going to get better eventually, but I'm already 4 hours into it, and I'm not having fun, so I don't know. I don't know about that game. I'm still kind of on the fence with it, but I don't think I'm really going to keep it. I might just try to sell it. I tried to play Digital Devil Saga, and that one's boring, too. Oh man, I don't really understand why these games get such high marks. Maybe they just aged badly, because some of these games are pretty old. Like Kingdom Hearts, that came out in 2002. Maybe back then, maybe if I played it back at that time, I would have liked it. But it just aged like a stone. I don't know, that's how you can tell if a game is actually good on its own right, or if it's the result of hype. And if it just ages badly. Like Sonic Adventure, that's a game that aged badly. It was well received when it first came out, but looking in hindsight, we realized that it was just a bad game. The only reason why it was popular was because it was the first 3D Sonic game. And so people were able to forgive its flaws, but not anymore. And Nocturne. Actually, I played this a while ago, but I finally decided to sell it. And that's just boring. I mean, I like the Persona games. Persona 3 and 4, they were awesome. But these games are just like shit compared to that. I don't know. But I don't want to deal with games that are just boring as hell. I literally sat through Grandia, and I didn't really like it that much. It wasn't horrible, but I didn't really like it that much. And I sat through it for 40 hours. And I beat it, and I have no intention of ever playing that game again. So I don't want to put myself through that. If I'm not enjoying a game, what's the point? I'll just sell it for whatever I can and, hopefully get some money back, but, it's not worth keeping if it's just shit. Yeah. So, that's my talk about what I'm playing these days. And, let me know in the comment section, what games you're playing, what games you would recommend, because I'm always interested in, knowing what my friends and subscribers are playing. Give me some suggestions too, and add me on PlayStation Network. I'm Lengis on PlayStation Network, Lengis, and we can compare, trophy collections and shit like that. Okay, this is Enigma Hood signing off.